Seen around the world, Julio Novello hauled an 86-pound bucket of gold through the streets of New York. Here in Guayaquil, Ecuador, the weight on his shoulders is more than he can bear. How big of a mistake? Video seen around the world, Julio Novello hauled an 86-pound bucket of gold through the streets of New York. Here in Guayaquil, Ecuador, the weight on his shoulders is more than he can bear. How big of a mistake was it to take that bucket?
Sound easy to say. The biggest mistake I ever made. Ever.
It's a surprising admission from an international criminal who still laughs about how much the world never knew. Take, for instance, police announcing he'd stolen a bucket of gold flakes.
I was laughing. But flakes were bars. 2 main bars.
How big are the bars?
This thick and this long.
At his apartment in New Jersey, chopping up the bars was job one.
I went to get tools on Home Depot in New Jersey. I did buy like a saw, right? A jigsaw. But the gold was too soft. So I went back and said, no, it doesn't work like that.
A second power saw did the trick, and he exchanged chunks of gold for $1.2 million in cash on the black market.
My mind was, I was on the clouds, you know? Wow.
Step 2, dodging the NYPD.
I knew after 3 hours, they're gonna be looking around for me because surveillance cameras was all around, you know? So the second day, cut my hair, put suits, and looking different.
So you try to change your appearance?
My appearance was changed. Yeah.
And then he hid from the cops in the last place you'd expect.
I know Manhattan really well.
Wait. So you thought the safest thing was to hide in plain sight?
Yeah, you got my words.
Yep, Novello went back to Midtown and even played tourist. You decide, of all places to go, the Wax Museum in Times Square.
Yeah.
But the games were over when NYPD's major case squad got the assignment, released a wanted poster, and a detective sent Novello this message on News 4.
I'm going to come and get you, so you can run as far as you can, and we'll find him.
And I knew Detective Pastor say, we had your name and we will get you.
That's when Novello says he left the cash with his fiancée in New Jersey, who would join him later in another country, and he headed south. Through November, he hid out in Orlando and then Fort Lauderdale, trying to stay one step ahead of police.
He can't take a flight out from here at Miami International Airport. He'd be arrested immediately. So Julio decides to pay a friend $15,000. It's time for a road trip.
Racing across Oklahoma, heading for Los Angeles, Novello had a very close call.
You got stopped for speeding.
Yeah, speeding. Yeah.
He gave the officer this.
That was a fucked up bitch.
So the guy said, well, it's your day. It's your lucky day. Go ahead. Thank you, sir. Boom.
In Los Angeles, Novello paid smugglers to get him into Tijuana, where he hopped a flight to southern Mexico, drove to Guatemala, flew to Panama, and then Peru, and finally walked over the border into Ecuador.
After cross the border and say bye, I'm in safety place.
But he didn't know NYPD's major case squad was far from calling it quits.
In fact, the NYPD had jumped ahead of Novello, working closely
Day
with
280.
Ecuadorian police.
For 39 days, Julio walked these streets of Guayaquil a free man. And then one day, he decided to leave the house and go to the gym.
It's right over here?
Right here, right in this place, approached to me too with the plain clothes, Ecuadorian guys, and asked me for my name. I said, Julio Novello. Say, listen, I got an arrest order.
Por las autoridades como el Ecuador, Julio N.
Ecuador would not extradite Novello, but under an agreement with the U.S., he was sentenced to a year in an Ecuadorian jail for the New York heist.
If you commit crime, you gotta pay. So I didn't complain about that. I knew, but the call was solved, the money was hiding.
But when Novello was released from jail in November, his plans to run off with his fiancée and their fortune came crashing down. He says she stayed in New Jersey and stayed answering his calls.
I just realized now how the money.
And right now, Novello is flipping the script, betting there's a good chance the woman he loved is watching right now. He wants her to hear this.
Dame el número de teléfono que yo voy a llamar a la policía. I will call the police.
Cool. Let's see. NA Regional Championship Day 2. NRG versus FaZe. Woo. I gotta relight that again.
Hello and welcome back to the Rocket League Championship Series Spring Split. You're watching the North American Regional number 2, brought to you by Verizon. I'm Leaf, and that's Gibbs, and Achieves is on the desk with us now to talk about this last match here. We thought it was going to go Achieves to a Game 7. During the pre-show, we all kind of thought it was going to be a big series, but Space Station shut down Rogue early.
Yeah, I mean, they came out with that real quick start, and I actually thought Rogue, played it pretty well, taking the timeout after Game 3, and it's like, all right, they understand that they need to have something change up there, but they could not stop that Space Station train. I mean, the offense was on fire. Try as they might, not even, First Killer, who's such a power on defense, could get in front of some of these touches.
That first 4 games with Arsenal was just so good. And then it was Game 5, and we had that miss in the corner. You're like, uh-oh, Space Station might not be feeling it in a long overtime. It felt like both teams had to win that game. Like, even for Space Station, up 3-1. If they lost that, there's a chance that there's a comeback.
So it's FaZe Clan versus NRG. Will NRG pull through today?
One team can win, and it was Space Station. They move on.
You want my
Reynolds,
honesty?
though, is
I hope
joining
so.
us on the line to talk about this victory. Reynolds, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Leaf.
We talked.
I'm already
we talked
stoned
just
and I haven't even
yesterday
smoked half the
about
joint yet.
specifically about play styles and stuff, and I want to just make sure you guys are still sticking to that game plan. Nothing's changed over the past night. You're like, okay, we got the play style, and this is the one winning us it today.
Yep, we have been sticking with this type of play for the last 3 weeks, and definitely think it's our best play style. We'll most likely be going like this in the Worlds as well, so it's good.
Right. So we saw in the cameras that you were popping off after that win, like after that goal. How important was that? Because Rogue could possibly come back in that series.
No, this tournament, this Sunday itself means so much to us. We haven't had a good performance in our standards since October, since the fall major. So just getting that dagger in the Rogue series, who we consider one of the best teams in our way, this tournament was just the biggest thing. That it was just so good.
I got the Rogue. I got the
FaZe or NRG next. What are you guys doing to prepare, and who do you think you'll end up playing?
We're not doing anything to prepare. We are playing our playstyle this entire tournament. We're not going to lose with this playstyle as long as we keep playing well. We need to make sure me and Arsenal need to keep hitting our shots, especially Arsenal. We had a few hiccups in that last game, but we're playing well. It's just we got to keep the mental up and we got to keep the shots in. That's it.
Well, that was my question just on the play style. You say that this is the one you're going with going forward now. That win was a big proving point for you guys, probably to show that this is the right play style. Is there any other team that's in this bracket still that you think might be the biggest challenge to that play style?
G2 will be the biggest challenge for this. Them and Rogue and the similar teams are the biggest threats to this playstyle. It's kind of who has better offense, right? Like, we are known for the slow play, methodical defense first playstyle that we brought into the fall split. But this split, we're kind of throwing that out the window and who can score more goals. And I think other than G2 and Rogue, no one's a threat to us for that.
But the fact that you're telling us means you're pretty confident that it's still going to work, right?
Yes.
I'm assuming. Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Well, Reynolds, you got some matches to, not get prepared for, apparently, but to watch now. So congratulations on the win and good luck on the rest of today.
Thank you, Leaf.
Nice little afternoon
Reynolds,
waking up.
again, prepared, Gibbs. Like, he seemed ready for today.
Well, it would be awkward if he was like, I don't think we're going to win it today because that's not Reynolds. Come on. Like, he's going to say that no matter how they're playing. But they do look fantastic this entire group stage and now throughout.
Great soundbite, though. We're not going to lose at this play style. Bam, cut it, clip it, ship it. We're done.
And then as long as we play well, which I'm like, all right, a little caveat at the end there.
Well, just cut that part out. Don't worry about it. Let's take a look at the bracket now. and see where that puts Space Station Gaming. Of course, that is into the semifinals. That is, they're moving on. They're one step away from the finals here, Gibbs. But there's still a lot of matches to go before they find out their opponents. Well, I guess one more before they find out their opponents.
Yes, 3 tournaments in a row where Rogue was back with Space Station in points. Rogue finally passed them last regional, and now Space Station, they move back up to a top 3 spot. So big win for them. And now we get into the juicy ones where it matters so much for the World Championship. All 3 of these matchups, 3 teams on the bubble where it's so close. So we'll see what happens because we've seen some weird things happen so far on day 2. Now we're on day 3. Let's see if things go back to normal or will it continue to be crazy.
We will find out, but we got to get through some matches here. Coming up next is FaZe versus NRG. Achieve's FaZe has continually found themselves in this top spot, top 8. They're saying, hey, look, we're a great team in North America, but they're up against NRG, who, was looking really hot. They had a rough day during the knockout upper group there, but FaZe Clan, hoping maybe that's the same situation today. Don't know if that will be the story, though, Achieve.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, right? Because NRG, I mean, even in that series, they lost to KCP yesterday. I mean, they looked real good for a lot of it. It's just I felt they were just too quick on their approaches. It's like, all right, I understand that you guys think you can get away with doing whatever against anybody, but that's clearly not the case. And I think it's mental adjustments they need to make, because they know they can beat anybody. They've done it wrong. Guys, stop thinking you can win it without trying, right? And just that's what I want to see out of NRG. But this is not going to be easy. Because AJ's been playing great. Illusion's been looking rock solid.
That was a good hit.
Gyro, well, he's Gyro. I mean, that guy, he's
Gyro. Well, it is time now for chat to get involved. It's time for the Verizon fan vote. You got to let us know who is going to win this one. Who you think is going to win this one to face off against Space Station Gaming in the semifinals there. Hashtag FaZe or hashtag NRG. NRG's dominated these polls for quite some time here. We'll see if the FaZe Clan fans come out here and vote for them. Let's get our predictions out while we do this then. Of course, we did our build-up bracket thing teamwork, but I think that's out the window. We've proven that there was a lot of disagreements there. So let's get our predictions. I'm curious.
All the
Gibbs,
roaches
your
saved back.
Thought on this if you were just doing that.
I'm glad I did.
Even though we did see you pick this earlier in the pre-show.
The track record for FaZe versus NRG is not that great. 3 times in RLCSX, they've lost all 3 times. They lost a bunch in the grid as well. But what we saw from FaZe on day 2 looked fantastic. What we saw from NRG wasn't, where they almost lost 3 bad 5s in a row after winning 15 in a row. So I'm a little worried about NRG. I don't think they bounce back just yet, and I want to see FaZe continue their performance that they had versus Team Envy. I think they take this series.
Exact opposite end.
I got a message to wifey.
Gibbs' analysis and thought process is absolutely correct all the way. I just think that NRG do turn it around.
Oh, hey, baby.
So I got NRG.
Sometimes it comes down to how the team is playing on the day, and I believe NRG is going to be playing on the day. I think they're not happy with how yesterday went. Sure, they made it to this point, but I think they're a team that really has the ability to communicate well with each other. We've seen feel this great. I bet you that afterwards, when they're working on what happened, they can sit down and sort out those problems and get themselves back.
I still have yet to even take my Valaxicam. Again, did that go?
So, I mean,
it's energy.
It's not
man. We saw FaZe take a big upset chat swing yesterday, so I was expecting
my head was not attached. I would lose that too.
What's happening now? Where'd they all go, man?
I guess there's more NRG fans than there are Envy fans. That's what
there's more NRG fans than any other fucking Rocket League team there is.
At or least words hashtag RLCS.
Rocket League. NRG is one of the most respected and most rooted for teams. Okay.
To prove themselves, but it's also,
All right, so we got Squishy, Garrett, and Justin on NRG's side. Garrett G, Justin, and Squishy. And then FaZe Clan has Illusion, AJ, and Gyro. Oh. And this is what I like to watch that all of a sudden kicks my ass going, get the fuck on the Rocket League. Rocket League's a fucking good game. I love it. It's a love-hate relationship though.
Obviously.
So we do get ourselves the control pass. Illusion will take it away. The back, Illusion over the top.
Yeah, like I literally want to play Rocket League now. But I'm wanting NRG to beat FaZe.
Now will the challenge come in? Over to Justin. What great play though from Gyro. Saw the danger approaching. Did manage to get rid of it.
Taking their time coming forward. Doing a little bit of what Space Station just did against Rogue. But will they be able to make it work here? You know, for me, it's all about the confidence for NRG. It's all about the communication.
See, I don't know if I'd want to use my Octane or my Fennec.
Talented teams in the world. There's no question about that. Will they be able to produce the results? Again, you know, the top team in NA at least.
I mean, Garrett uses a Fennec.
One of their main competitions is.
So does Justin.
What a save, AJ. Just knocks it into the post. But here come NRG again. Squishy's denied a top corner shot, although I think the crossbar would have had it anyway. Gyro with not a lot of boost, does the best that he can, but there's an easy save for NRG.
Squishy now looking to take it the whole way. Good challenge from him. Gyro just almost belly flops it onto the other side of the field. Gets back to Illusion. Doesn't want to get challenged.
Come on, FaZe. Come on, NRG. Kick FaZe's ass.
Just make sure NRG are not getting that ball for free.
Okay, so Squishy's in an Octane.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from it.
Garrett is in his Fennec. I already know that.
That's cheeky AJ just going around the challenge here. Squishy's able to.
Woo! Justin, what a fucking save, bro.
Are having to work for this one, but they're still hanging on. 1 goal deficit is. It's fine when you're NRG. You got Justin. 0-second goals come naturally. You know, winning the overtimes afterwards, not so much, but they're at least going to get a chance if they keep the scoreline like this.
Justin.
I should honestly put this up on the big screen. Yeah, I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to leave this playing. Okay, we're on Twitch.
Justin's missed as well. A couple of mistakes here from Justin. Just read earlier on that led to the goal. Justin does boom the clear. Nobody around to follow up for his team. Instead, Gyro takes back control in midfield.
Settings.
They're not rushing any of this. Make sure every touch is going to be a clean win for them.
Oh, yep. Justin's using a Fennec. Garrett's using. Oh, is Garrett in an Octane?
For Illusion off the backboard. Bit of a team hit from Lucian.
Yeah, Garrett's in a fucking Octane. Justin in the Fennec. I thought Garrett was going to be in a Fennec as well. Like Fennec is his main, I thought.
To just get the ball away one more time, and Illusion on the rotation back will finally get rid of the pressure completely.
Come on,
Early
NRG.
goal from FaZe. 10 seconds into this one is all that separates these two teams. NRG surprisingly toothless in their response. They've got to give it a go now. They've got to start pressuring FaZe, sending shots on target. Volume is not usually the problem when it comes to shots.
I need to find my other. I still need to find my other.
They don't have a lot to work with. Time is now running out. They had plenty of it earlier on, and I'm glad to see that they didn't rush the comeback attempt. They didn't throw themselves out of position. But in the final minute, they need to make something happen here.
AJ didn't get the boost to spawn on his way through. Doesn't mean that the clear is going to have a little bit less power than he would have wanted. Actually, their first chance to really set up on the other side of the field. Here is AJ. Good pop over the top of one. Brings an Illusion, but he's beat somewhat cleanly by Squishy. All touch from Gyro means NRG are well in the trenches here. Want to just try and keep this ball on the other side of the field. Get that mistake. Very quick defensive play means they can at least get rid of it for the time being. Block from Gyro. Justin with Garrett in support. Gets it back down, but it's
Come on, guys. Where's your comms? Where's your comms?
Defense is already set
Come
up
on,
for
NRG.
NRG. You know, they're questioning them at the moment, but
First game's going to phase.
mistakes from phase. Oh, maybe a chance.
First game is going to phase.
Too much. And a booming play image. Justin's got to go to
Rocket League.
That was the chance.
Meaning
right there.
it's they're going up to game 2 and it's FaZe Clan 1 game, NRG 0, and it's best of 5, or it's best of 7 or best of 5.
I think if if nothing else, it might be
Yeah.
giving, Rocket League analysts
You
a
got
little
Garrett
more
G,
confidence that
Justin,
this might
and
actually be a
Squishy
predictable tournament.
on
The teams who looked
NRG.
good earlier on still look good. Talking about
Like
Space
those are
Station,
there's some huge
FaZe,
names.
they've done the job here. Rogue struggled in the build up to
Babe, if you're still in the chat, I don't know where my capsule bottle is, my new one.
In the quarterfinals. It's
So
early
if you
days
know
yet,
where
but
it's at, that would
was
be
uninspiring
wonderful.
From NRG. That was the kind of gameplay that usually leads to car changes. I'm expecting, a Dominus, Justin, Fennec, Garrett G.
Catch.
If the results keep coming in like this, try and trigger
That pill.
that isn't there right now.
Okay,
but it
but
is still got a tactical timeout.
it will have a lid
I think
like these.
nothing too drastic.
Okay, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna have a lid like this because I pulled all of my meds out yesterday, right? Because I got the new delivery in. And I don't know what happened to my capsule pill.
Stuck in as well because their biggest
Whoa!
both down in that lower side of the bracket, KCP and G2.
I don't know what the fuck I just seen, but okay.
KCP taking on Team Envy as we do have ourselves a quick technical pause. Get something sorted out over there. But for FaZe,
technical
they're
pause.
looking at this and thinking, all right, so you've got Envy.
Technical
you've
pause.
got Sonics. Who have we got to deal with just to keep that pressure on you guys? All right, we've got to beat NRG. And then we've got to beat Space Station in the next round and inform.
That's what I think. I think it's going to be Space Station Gaming versus NRG.
So much to work against. And they've got to try and come out on top doing it.
Yeah, FaZe must be thinking, what is going on in this tournament? Why is our run so difficult? Because it really has been. They were in the group of death. They made it out of that group of death. Now they've got NRG in the quarterfinals of top 8. It's not been an easy run.
And you have been
like
asleep
said,
all
that's just a
afternoon,
chance
so
for
you
them
haven't
to
had
prove
no
that they
breakfast.
belong in this top tier.
Unless David
If
fed
they-
you.
if They can produce results.
Did you
against
feed
the
her
very
breakfast
best
this morning or
teams
no?
in
No,
North
okay.
America. And at least it
Hang
kind
on.
of takes the pressure off as well.
I don't
in some
need
way.
you to
If
try
you
to
do
feed
go
me
up against a
cooking
team
in.
with
Where
more rated
is,
than you,
Luca?
you're supposed to win. So that must be a little bit harder from another aspect mentally. But yeah,
she was
FaZe,
wanting out that bad then.
they
Yeah, she wouldn't
had
shut
the
up.
opposite of NRG in terms of form coming into this. Losing 8 straight series in the grid, NRG won all their grid matches. So now we're seeing that why our LCSX events are different. Yes, you can perform in the grid, but there's no pressure. Can you do it again in our LCSX? Now, NRG have shown us many times that they can, but they have to show it again. That is the beauty of this format. The consistent teams throughout the entire year will be rewarded. And I do still think that NRG have a great shot of coming up on top of the pile when all is said and done. But FaZe, they've got bigger fish to fry than get into the top of the pile. They just want to make sure they're in the pile and make sure they beat out their rivals G2 and KCP. They need to get wins to do that.
FaZe will feel extremely hard done by lately because when you're in the position they're in, they were 230 points up coming out of our last major. And they must have felt great about that. They got themselves into the top 8 of the last major. Pretty much where they've won for a team that's got top 6 aspirations to be all right. We're just sort of skating by there, but you're still doing the job that we expect of you. And instead, they saw their lead from 230 to a mere 80 as their two biggest rivals have phenomenal tournaments for themselves. And it can happen again. They lose this. And it could be a really, really difficult situation for them because the worst possible scenario is G2 and KCP playing in that semifinal and KCP winning it.
I will touch it.
Happen. They're out of the top 6 already heading into those final 2 tournaments.
Yeah, and that's really important to mention as
But
well.
see,
It's
I
like
should
the
warn you
tournament, as
first.
everybody knows, national and then a major. The major where that'll be the most points out of all of the events throughout the entire RLCSX season.
He's like, no.
It's insane.
700 to 800. Yeah.
Yeah, if people are wondering why aren't more
He's
teams
like,
confirmed?
I appreciate the offer,
Probably
but
that's the reason.
That's over half of these teams have got so far.
Exactly. So there's so much to play for here, but giving yourself the advantage. Going
Gizmo, say goodbye to David. He's going to go to
into
work.
The final event of the year.
And then also here in a little bit, I got to take
North
you
America
out too.
in the top 6. Then you only need to perform as well as the teams below you to stay above them. You don't need to outperform them by going an entire extra round into the tournament in the top 8, perhaps. So it's really important to keep that edge, and that's what FaZe are fighting for here.
So we're going to look to try and get that technical issue sorted out. Before then, we're going to head up to a break. When we come back, we're going to continue with FaZe against NRG.
I'm trying to remember where I put her vest at.
It's over here.
Oh, okay.
I took them off of her last night. So, yeah.
Here it is. Here. Stop. Don't argue with me, please. Sit. 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 Come here. Come here. There you go. Good girl.
I shall return.
See you later tonight. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go. Good job. Good job. Good girl. You're getting so good with that. I was just being hella fucking weird. Ah. Okay. No, I what's funny is I actually like the chair height. For some reason. Let's go, NRG. Come on, kick some ass, boys.
Welcome back to RLCSX, our second regional of the spring split over in North America, and we are already into our NRG versus FaZe quarterfinal matchup. FaZe up by 1, heading into game number 2, Johnny, and it's been a curious one so far. FaZe, we had questions from them coming out that we saw them get annihilated by Space Station Gaming over on day 1, but since then they've been a whole different team, and they're going to need that to take down who have currently got the most points in the region.
Yeah, they will need to really prove that they can keep up this form, because like you said, Space Station smashed them in the group stage. Didn't look close. It didn't look like FaZe were ready for that at all, but since then they've been on the warpath, and they've really I think proved the critics wrong. Their critics have been fairly criticizing them for 8 straight series losses in the grid. And then, of course, the disappointing run against SSG. But here comes Justin. He won't be stopped on this play. And just 2 seconds in game 1, NRG have taken the lead in game number 2.
He's just lifted it over and coasted his way for that goal. So NRG have got themselves on the board, lost the last one 1-0. 5 seconds is all it took this time around. As for FaZe, they seem pretty happy to coast in the last game, and you can't really blame them for it. Now they're going to have to go out on the hunt.
Come on, Justin. Come on, Squishy.
And this is the player that you would expect to try and create that space for them. AJ, always so deadly.
AJ has been, he's been touted as maybe the next first killer. And with Gyro and Illusion really stepping up as well, I think it makes sense. You've not just got a star player in AJ, but you've got the other whole team. You've got the rest of the squad around him to make it work. And we saw that it didn't always work for first killer in previous rosters. Now it does. That he's got the 2 T's alongside him. As for AJ, it's just been a learning process. Been with these guys since the start of the season. Now they're finding form. And it's really interesting to see that kind of consistency from North American top teams when it matters most. We're seeing the best 8 teams in the region making top 8, or at least, the teams I would say are currently top 8. They've made top 8 again. Great for
damn.
For
Play. Welcome back, baby.
Predictions.
How's work today? By the way.
Not my own. Not Rogue Space Station Gaming wrong.
Excuse me.
Games that they were very correct.
I'm happy to say that I get the odd prediction. every other prediction probably wrong, but you know, on track for getting this one wrong as well. You know, if they do keep winning, but much better from NRG after the restart here. They've tidied up their act and they've, I think, sorted out the slow start that they had for whatever reason it was. I think Justin in particular looks like he's woken up now and ready to play.
So Bumper almost gets the ball up to AJ. Instead, it's a breakaway opportunity. Squishy lines up. And Gyro back just in the moment of time.
Okay, so Justin is using the Fennec. Squishy and Garrett are both using off.
The best first touch, but it was never going to be. Instead, he's managed to stave off the pressure, get his team back in. That's all you can really ask from him. Garrett over to Justin.
Ooh.
Some loitering shots.
What a play. Busy yet slow.
Got all of the pressure, and they will not give this up. Squishy towards the backboard, looks to put it back down. Justin
so
cleverly
close.
realized that the shot wasn't around, and instead guides it back.
Justin, what? What are you doing?
Bit of space on the counter attack. Gyro decides to go for the backboard, which should be defended. Justin patiently waits for the ball to come to him. But time is still on FaZe's side. It's a complete role reversal from game number 1. Almost identical early goals going in opposite directions. And, you know, just as much as FaZe coasted to a game 1 win, that seems like it's sort of what NRG are doing now. And there's not been too much fight, at least initially, to oppose that. So I can't really blame them. NRG look comfortable.
NRG did not get scored on at all during their reverse sweep of XSET. Just had that moment in the series where everything started to click. Maybe they've had that one here. Good block. And comes Justin. Decent challenge. Resolution into the play. Second touch gets it back to AJ, who is on 0 boost. It's going to be so difficult to get it past Squishy. That time is ticking away from them. Squishy can't set up for that second goal. Look towards the back. Oh my goodness, Solution. Happy to see that one bounce away.
Wow, that was a close one.
It's just slowly but surely starting to seem like NRG have got the read on the pace of this. Not rushing for it, not making any mistakes. Instead, they've now got to deal with Illusion. And Justin pre-jumps to get rid of it.
You know, slowly but surely is a great way to describe this, because it really does look like FaZe have come in here and they've waited for NRG to come at them with everything that they've got and all the pace in the world. Hasn't happened. It's been changes of pace for NRG. A style that we're not so used to seeing from such a relentless team and such a mechanically gifted team. But it's worked out in this second game because they got their noses in front, and then FaZe weren't really ready to take the necessary risks to right the wrong, and still down by 1 as we approach the end of the game.
Well, they're looking for one more opportunity. Gyro pops the ball over to Illusion. Back to Gyro, but Garrett will win the race. Put the ball down.
There we go, NRG. Come on.
This series tied up at 1 each. And this, Johnny, is a different side to NRG we have not seen. You know, they came into this season back in the fall, and they had a play style to them that was just attack, attack, attack. We're going to try and outplay all of you individually all the time. And it led to poor results from them. And we got little glimpses about that yesterday as well when they came that close to being eliminated. And I think that shock, that scare, has made them realize we can't do that. Take our time. We don't need to just keep trying to outplay all the time. We just have to outplay them once. And that looked like what NRG were doing this time. It was I'm not saying meandering pace, but it was the right pace. If FaZe aren't going to attack, if FaZe aren't going to look to really send everyone to break that ball away from their side of the field, why force it?
Yeah, and they've done you know, the smart things as well, taking away boosts from FaZe, and then not feeling the pressure to do something with that boost advantage, just waiting to see if it'll pay dividends by itself. FaZe were really stuck in first gear that game. The NRG just keep on taking away their ability to accelerate, and then watching them be incapable of accelerating. I'll be very curious if NRG continue this for the entire series, because I don't think it's going to work later on in the tournament, should they make the run here. Oh, it's working now, though. AJ's got his team in a huge amount of trouble. Gyro does well to save the shot. FaZe have got to step it up here. They need to start linking the midfield. If they're not going to solo play their way through NRG, they need to do it with team play. They need to do it with physical play. I'm not seeing any of that.
We've almost got our way through the first minute without a goal scored. Much different to games 1 and 2 that had almost immediate goals, and then nothing really happening after that as Garrett bounced the ball into the mid, and it would hit the crossbar. And we've got Illusion just went to make sure, and he's also got control of the ball. Passes it over to Gyro, who's going to take his time, take it under control. Almost found Squishy's card, not quite able to do so. Reset for Justin. Going to try and grab a second. Why not? The team is, not really setting up the way they would like to. Just a couple of extra steps being taken either side. As Garrett is again testing the keeper, and the keeper will not falter.
Well, yeah, so far in game 3, I think both teams are seeing ghosts because we're seeing flicks past invisible players and invisible challenges that I'm not seeing. And I don't know why the ball's being moved when there is no pressure on it. AJ plays for the first touch, but Garrett reads it well. Gyro, I think, was reading that backboard, but not before Squishy beats into it. And another comfortable defensive play for NRG, who have been able to swat away everything that FaZe have thrown at them ever since the first 10 seconds of this series. But same can almost be said for FaZe in reverse, as Garrett looks to find a way through. He does get it into the middle, but it's too hard to commit on that, as his teammates were waiting to see what's going to happen. By the time
all right, I'm going to take the pupper's body real quick, and then I'll be right back.
It's the corner. Illusion taps the ball on, but AJ is just swiped at as he looks to try and collect the pass.
Mama says hello. Yeah. Oh, yeah, babe, if you can, get me a pack of cigarettes after work, too, please.
Did want to commit all 3 players.
Wow.
Squishy moves in, it's tucked neatly under the crossbar.
Wow. Well, Justin has done it all for them once again. What a dunk. AJ got solid contact on it, but unfortunately for FaZe, Gyro committed on the same play, and they're hoping for the ball to fly off in literally any direction there. Anywhere will do, but it doesn't go anywhere. Justin neutralizes it completely. An NRG lead. Garrett on the recovery. What demo that is from behind. Just as FaZe were setting up the run into the goal. Garrett comes from behind them and shuts down the chat.
Now the pass to Squishy makes it 2.
Wow. Just like that, NRG triple their goal scoring tally for this series. It's gone in extremely quickly.
That was in the back of my head. So
I know you didn't say it.
All the way through.
Yeah, you didn't say it. You're one of the 1-0s, but sorry, Shogun. No,
you might have just put 4 past them at this point.
Yeah, it's great.
Wanting that goals, and all I want is a 5-game series of only 5 goals, or a 3-game series of only 3 goals. Pretty simple to ask. Right now, FaZe will be asking what's it going to take to get back into this. Have not scored ever since that opening 10 seconds. And NRG have not really provided them any chances. Been a couple of infields, which nobody was around for. Outside of that, not even a half chance really going into FaZe. It'll also be up to NRG to maintain the disciplined approach that they've taken to this series so far. Rely on those individual skills. Rely on your ability to win a challenge. Puts it aside. Squishy doesn't get it lined up for the half-volley clear. Instead, has to get a little bit more acrobatic to get rid of it. Becomes the target man downfield. The demo means that Garrett won't be available for Justin to get that ball over to. Only a minute left. FaZe needs something. It's off the side. AJ's challenge makes the ball loose. There will be no illusion around. 45 seconds, Johnny. FaZe, a lot of work here to do.
Yeah, they just haven't had the creativity. Now here they do come forward with a little bit more spice in the attack. It is a double on target save by NRG. That's the best chance to see from FaZe in about the last 10 minutes, maybe more, of gameplay between all these games. Want to see more of that. Need to see more of that. Now pre-jumping, Garrett collects Squishy's pass, but it's saved by FaZe. Suddenly, we've got an end-to-end battle with chances at both sides.
Just exploded into a bit of a back and forth war. AJ to Gyro. Needed to be on target and in the net. Instead, NRG see down the clock. 2-1 the series now is for them. And FaZe, well, they're going to have to open up the play now because their attempts to keep this constricted has worked. NRG have got themselves their second.
Yeah, they're both teams up until now have really just been playing not to lose, and it's a style that can get you far in competitive Rocket League, but I don't think it's ever got a team all the way in a tournament. I know NRG. I mean, we all know NRG can play an all-out, aggressive, attacking style that is playing to win games. But FaZe are the team who've got to be doing that right now, because I think NRG have proven that they're quite comfortable just handling FaZe, but FaZe really aren't doing anything. And that's, unfortunately for FaZe, how I would describe most of their gameplay for that game. I think they didn't get a shot on target in the first half of the game, and NRG were playing a very controlled and containing style. But you'd expect FaZe to create something with all that time and all the talent they've got on their roster. They've got to go for it here. They've got to take matters into their own hands and see if they can step up to NRG's level on their terms. Because if they play NRG's game, they're not going to win this series.
It's going, MJ. How are you? We're watching NRG versus FaZe Clan on Rocket League.
FaZe maybe, take the forward foot a little bit more. Feels like right now in a battle of fundamentals, you're not going to see too many goals. NRG have been the team getting a slight advantage from it. Gyro. It's the backboard.
Nice save,
already
Squishy.
around to collect. Wow. Comes out to Gyro once again off the backboard. Justin jumps for it. Gets the block. It's still around for FaZe. How much they want to commit. AJ does lose the challenge. Lucian just has to find a way to win this one. He's done well. The rest of his team now back behind the ball. He can keep this press. Over the top as Lucian.
Ooh, nice
Back
block.
the corner. A lot of long shots being taken, Johnny. And very few mistakes coming from those long shots.
Oh, wow. That's a great save by AJ. He didn't.
That was your new Tom McDonald songs I haven't heard before, right?
But he knew that they were there, and he knew that the ball was strikeable, so he's blocked it. Even though he didn't have an exact idea of when the attack was coming, he played the ball, he played the structure of the goal. He knew, okay, this is the moment the ball is shootable, so I'm going to hit it now. And that is some great defensive work for his team.
NRG forced now start rotating back. AJ wants to find Gyro, can't quite do it. Couple of players out. Here comes Illusion off the backboard. Up goes AJ, still here for FaZe. But there was a split second where it was much more of a chance than they ended up taking from it.
Like that shot from Illusion, it has to go on target. It can't hit the bar from that range. You don't have a third man behind you who's coming in hot for the rebound there. You can't be shooting too high. I mean, he's uncontested from that kind of range.
Cloned Rappers and Trying to Kill Me are some pretty good ones. Cloned Rappers is...
But you don't get enough chances like this.
Is sad as fuck or sick as fuck?
Them away. That's just not acceptable.
Because, yeah, there's new songs there's not new songs by Tom McDonald, but there's a lot of songs I haven't listened to by Tom McDonald.
Are FaZe going to wait for NRG to lose this game for them? Because I don't think it's going to work. I don't think NRG are going to throw this. And that's a good save. Squishy's defense holding strong. Can they get this? Yes, they can. Justin just scoops it off the line with hardly any time to spare.
FaZe got also very close.
Nice
no
fake.
fake out challenge from Squishy. Gets hold the ball in the midfield. Or downfield as well, looking to be a target. At least we are now seeing FaZe.
Right. If I could afford his newest album, I would, but right now we're still waiting on getting paid by Twitch.
Scored just yet. Justin probably wanted somebody to maybe go and challenge that. Instead, just immediately going back. Gyro off the backboard. Lucian. Justin's challenge. Gets it back over to Squishy. both these teams, a lot of long clears, but they're not quite finding
I guess he signs and packages all CDs himself. Got a thing saying so after I ordered in. After I ordered in the nice, there you go. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing is that he sells his own albums.
Gyro happily gets this to the other side of the field.
That was just otherworldly from Justin. Redirects the ball into the backboard. Then
how much was his album though?
I mean,
his newest one.
With this stuff, even Garrett wasn't able to predict what Justin was doing there. They played together for a whole long time. The creativity definitely swinging strongly towards NRG for me. They've had the better chances, the better efforts on net. And here comes another one that's just tipped wide. AJ got a piece of that. Now Garrett looking for the backboard. Gyro's covering it. Minutes ago. And that's actually by Story Squishy. Didn't have momentum. It's in. FaZe out of nowhere, quite literally, have taken the lead. Squishy just couldn't read the infield bounce. Thought it was hitting the inside of the post. It's gone flat.
Oh, there you go. Not too bad.
Into the middle. FaZe 1-0.
Johnny, you said that it looked like FaZe were waiting for NRG to beat themselves. NRG just beat themselves. They were in full control. And now they've got to really go for it in these final 45 seconds. Garrett, over to Squishy. We're straight upwards. It's going to be Squishy yet again, looking for the individual play. The bump actually does help them out, but the gyro certainly will not. Matter of seconds left. FaZe will looking to double up. Goes on to gyro. Infield will be available, but you know what else is available? Wasting all the time you can over in this corner.
Good shot, chance for Illusion, but he drops it wide. But it's NRG, who trail with not a lot of time left. And then their boost is completely drained, preventing them from starting a counter-attack at the pace they want to. More slow play from Illusion. Looks like AJ's been caught slightly out of position. Gyro does have him covered, but now Justin, uncontested, but he sends it slowly into the ground. And I mean, I've become more used to seeing threatening shots from Justin.
Wait, his music's actually really good. I like it.
Not a shot that's actually easily saved by all three players.
So it's 2-2, NRG versus FaZe. NRG has 2 wins, FaZe has 2 wins. So we got tied. So they got tied up this last game.
One mistake is all it took for FaZe to take a game.
This is such a weird series to really try and get a grasp of. Yet again, another one.
Right.
Makes me even more upset whoever scored the second goal in the last game. You know, I've waited so long to try and cast these.
Like, if you guys are wondering what I'm watching.
Well, birthday present that would have been. It's not my birthday, unfortunately. But for FaZe, they'd certainly get themselves more than enough of a gift if they can take this
NRG versus FaZe.
Right up there in that battle.
So you got Johnny Boy as a caster and a couple, and another one as a caster.
Applies heading into game number 5 as well. A very, very tactical matchup.
Rocket League. Rocket League it's a love-hate relationship for me on Rocket League, you know, and it's because it just depends on the day, how bad the toxicity is, you know.
Need to go back to the drawing board with this kickoff strat. I Spy with my little eye and AJ turning aggressively.
Garrett G just freaking got a goal from Squishy on kickoff.
Yeah, that rhyming for a little while, Johnny, and it just sort of fell apart.
But yeah, I was just too tilted that I'm still seeing this in 2021. To be honest, like, who comes up with these strats?
Yeah, it's actually changed a lot though. They've added a new ranking system, so instead of Grand Champ being the highest, you now have Supersonic Legend, and before Supersonic Legend, you have Grand Champ 1, Grand Champ 2, Grand Champ 3. So I'm getting ready to be pushing into Diamond 1 on standards and doubles.
He does have options, but he needs to keep that ball closer to himself, because otherwise Garrett can just take it away from him like that. A few times now where we've looked to FaZe across the field. They are looking to try and get demos.
Did they add anything to the gameplay? I mean, it's still basically the same game style. There's been aerials have gotten more mechanical, you know. So with the gameplay, the competitive playlist, you still got your 3s, your 2s, and your 1. Oh, that's actually what they did change. They actually took out solo standard queue, solo 3s. for solo queuing in threes. Now you can actually just go into threes competitive and queue into it. There's also now over 1 million players on daily on Rocket League ever since it became free to play.
You know, Illusion's touched the ball 3 times, AJ's touched the ball twice, and that's been their contribution to the game so far. And it's already 3-0 down.
Yeah, Gyro's carrying. He's hit the ball 9 times.
He's got 18 whole points. Oh, Gyro's missed that one.
He got it clear though, so not only did he get the ball 10 times, but one of the touches was a clear, so he's hard carrying the 40 points. I mean, we said this earlier. Scoreboard, that's the only thing that matters. You know, I said earlier, that's the only thing that matters. Obviously, if you lose but you're top of the board, then really, have you really lost? Here's Justin. Tough read from him.
But yeah, no, they actually added Rocket League to free to play now. And then actually, I also found out that MLB The Show 21 is actually coming to Game Pass on console.
Pressure that can score 2 goals, 3 goals in a game. So this is absolutely the time NRG strategy is going to work, where they just wait and try not to make mistakes.
Right now we're in a series where every single game that the
There you go.
match has been played.
Yeah, I've been playing Xbox since the original, since the old fucking huge, you know, green and black brick.
Most, they need to put 4 past NRG if they want to win this. Lucian over to AJ. He delayed the shot. Did a little bit too much. Lucian back to AJ. Oh!
Nice score.
That record is gone.
Yeah, great assist from Illusion. Triple commit from NRG, but they had fast recoveries, so that wasn't really the problem. It was because of that brilliant vision from Illusion that they have ended up being scored on. We're starting to see that kind of defensive strategy more often at the highest level of Rocket League.
Oh, there you go. Your pair of Xboxes?
Nice. That save doesn't matter too much when your recoveries are instantaneous. But you're definitely vulnerable.
I'm smoking on some what the fuck, lemon cookies. It's lemon kush crossbred with Girl Scout cookie.
That was brave. Got to boom that immediately. He did get it clear, but that really was risky to be waiting that long.
That was AJ as well. They'll pop over past the player. Oh, jeez. Rambling over it.
Excuse me.
Touch.
You can get a lot of money for fixing Game Boys too.
Again, it seems like Squishy's main priority throughout this series has just been get that ball into the air, waste some time, force the challenge. Justin doing much the same. It's not a good hit from Illusion. It was for him. NRG not in the need of goals, so they won't be pressed too far forwards.
NRG have everything to do for this game offensively. Now they've just got to tighten up the defense. To be honest, they just need to do what they've done all series, defending.
Okay, you remember
just fine because the accuracy's way.
Excuse me. Did it?
It's been welcoming so many other shots.
Yeah. I remember the square Game Boy Advance. You remember those Game Boy Advances before it went to the Game Boy XP that it would flip open like this? It was like a brick, like this.
Come up with a game plan that's
more I think that's the same one that you're talking about.
They're going to continue playing like this. Should they advance?
Is that the one that you're talking about? Is that nice little that brick Game Boy Advance, right?
I mean, am I allowed to praise NRG, or is it just going to go wrong?
Because
as soon as I do,
okay, yep, I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's that nice little freaking brick. I actually had the silver one, and there was only one scratch on the screen, but I ended up, this was back when I lived up in Missouri, when I was living with my parents. I ended up taking it over to a gaming store called Vintage Stock in Springfield, Missouri, and I took that Game Boy, and I took like 25 different games, like a couple was Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire, Pokemon Silver, Blue, Yellow.
Oh man, well this is a lot harder than it should be. The NRG.
Yeah, but I ended up taking all of this over to Vintage Stock, and they actually paid me almost close to $300. Almost $300 for the games and the Game Boy Advance. You know, so I got really lucky.
Swaps onto the ball to re-establish the 2-goal leads.
Nice shot, Justin.
Maybe establish themselves double match point against FaZe.
Yeah, glass screens. Yeah, I actually think my Game Boy Advance had a glass screen. It didn't have the. I don't think I had the plastic screen. I think I had the. I think I had the glass one as well.
One more time, but my goodness, Johnny, that should have been a done deal.
Yeah, they made that a lot harder.
Come on, NRG.
They really did. I mean, the first goal, it was a scramble. It was a clever infield pass from Illusion. That's fair enough. But the second goal, you know, Squishy back passing to Garrett and Garrett just not being ready for it. I don't think it's even a play that needs to be communicated. I'd expect them to make that defensive clear with no calls. It was really quite straightforward. But, you know, Garrett was a bit too casual, a bit too pedestrian in defense and didn't get there in time. You know, we do have to at least point out, if nothing else, so NRG are getting the job done here, and sometimes in Rocket League,
NRG's kicking ass today.
Best form available at all times.
They're letting a couple goals get past them, but that's all right.
Their best form hasn't shown up. It's been, you know, levels below them that's shown up, and they've just not been anywhere near good enough. But at least now, you know, they're not playing their usual flashy, all-out aggressive style with the fastest pace in NA, but they are beating FaZe, which is something to write home about. This is a chance now to send FaZe out of the tournament, and with a game to
think this is best of 5.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, they have to win 4
later on against SSG. I really do think this is just a counter strategy to FaZe. They're not afraid of FaZe. They're sitting back and letting FaZe come at them. They won't do that against Space Station. They definitely wouldn't have done it against Rogue. Probably not even an Envy. But it is doing the job here.
Well, for FaZe, really is time to go to war. I'll win these two, otherwise your ability to stay in that top 6 is completely out of your hands with G2 and KCP coming up very soon.
How much money they playing for? I don't know. This is the tournaments that they're doing. So it's FaZe Clan versus NRG. This is the RLCSX spring split.
Go back down. Good challenge. No real follow-up here. That corner has been pretty much a no attack zone from FaZe. They don't really want to bother getting themselves trapped as far away from their net as possible.
I remember the original Game Boys before they went to Game Boy Color.
The boost steal, Squishy stuck with 57. Well, NRG certainly don't have the same issues with challenging that corner. Although attempts to settle there from Illusion, instantly found a car in front of him.
That's a good read from Illusion.
The prices on OG Game Boys are actually going down. It's a good time to buy.
That one. FaZe
Gizmo.
find a way through. Unable to do so, and it's Justin with options on the infield. AJ with a very good challenge from behind. Has the pass covered, has the shot covered. It's really helping out his defense there by pressuring the ball as he retreats. Something we've seen a whole lot more in RLCS Season X than the seasons before it. But FaZe are going to need a lot more than that if they're going to beat NRG today. If they're going to get the two games won that they need to win, their offense just has to be more special. It has to be less predictable. NRG are dismantling them in slow motion here. They haven't needed to go to their top gear. They're still getting the ball past them sufficiently.
Justin back into the midfield.
Oof.
AJ, a decent challenge from him, but
come on, Justin.
To get an orange cut outside the field too long as Squishy completely gains control. Very, very deep line being employed by FaZe. Again, Jaro wants a goalkeeper, and again the goalkeeper does avoid. Let's keep going for that as Justin almost found the ball. Oh, comes Garrett.
Come on, Garrett! Somebody score that shit. Oh, I've had goals like that before. Or misses like that.
It's just a genius play to slow down the shot. Completely fooled the goalkeeper, but the bar denied him, and it also denied the follow-up. Nobody's covering the back post. Here comes Justin. He puts it in field, but no one's there. NRG had the best chances of the game, back to back, and they haven't taken any of them.
Well, Garrett going to back off from this challenge on Gyro. There's a chance now to break into the blue side of the field for FaZe. Need AJ to win this race to Justin. He doesn't quite do so. Right back into their own side again.
Do you consider your hat a part of your personality? Yeah.
Waiting for their
Yeah, I can honestly say that I do.
Race onto it after he got bumped downfield, looking for a chance to set up off that backboard. Squishy takes the ball down.
Because you technically got the real life Shaggy and Scooby Doo. Shaggy, everybody should know by now. Shaggy was a fucking stoner who owned a dog by the name of Scooby Doo. I'm a stoner. Technically, kind of a new age hippie who owns a dog. So you kind of put like two and two together,
There you just focused in on.
There's some days to where I feel like Shaggy. There's some days I feel like Scooby.
Because that's probably the best chance they're going to get from that kind of range in regulation time.
40 seconds left. FaZe's position in the tournament wholly relies on this next goal. Illusion with Garrett up with him. Refuses to leave him alone. In comes Squishy. Not the best first touch. He's going to have to try and take a challenge, and win that challenge he will. Smashed it to the other side of the field. Here's Garrett, double commit. It's all up to Gyro to stop. There's no real shot to stop, but he's on low boost. Another shot off target. The net seems to have some sort of anti-force field right now. There's nobody able to hit the target at all today. Maybe one more shot for 0 seconds. Overtime for FaZe to save their tournament lives.
Some strong goal repellent on both goal lines. But now NRG in OT,
good read.
Away from eliminating FaZe, really put in a huge blow in their top 6 chances for this season with G2 and KCP still to play today. But will FaZe be able to put up any kind of fight here? They've been on the back foot for the majority of this game, and they're on the back foot now. Garrett tests the goalkeeper. Gyro does keep it in the corner. He's done well there. NRG have taken away the boost.
I've thought about going as Shaggy for Halloween.
To counterattack.
1 year.
Everything's coming short.
I've also thought about going as Keanu Reeves from the Matrix as Neo.
Squishy taps past AJ off the backboard. It's so awkward. That's Gyro. Has to get away from Squishy. Squishy was on the rampage on the other side. Now up yet again to the corner off the backboard. It's a difficult shot, but Garrett will take it. That one's too high. How many shots does it take to put the ball in? NRG still looking to find the answer, and you know it.
Come on, NRG, just one goal. One goal, that's all you guys fucking need.
Gyro wants to try and follow, and the bump onto Squishy in the corner helps him get that space.
A minute 20 in overtime.
There's no way that NRG can dominate this much. They've had so many great chances to score and to win this game. But if they lose this from another defensive mistake, that would be just all too similar to the earlier game which FaZe have taken in this series. That's a huge hit.
Should dress like Fred one day. He was doing it right.
It's not got a lot of boost here, but he's pretending he does. Keep FaZe back. Huge challenge by Gyro. He doesn't have a second one on Justin.
Oh.
EJ's got them covered. Now Garrett's alone in defense. Gyro's coming at him, but that's composure. Well played, Garrett. He's going all the way here. Illusion's got to be careful. He does get dunked on, but he's got help on the retreat.
NRG starting to lead players back a little bit more. Pass to AJ. Couldn't find the pre-flip shot. Pass needed to be more accurate. How many more half chances are FaZe going to get? Comes out once again. AJ wants to try and show
AJ's up.
Magic. Now Illusion's turn. Justin already have to stop him. It's might actually just choice that Illusion one more time. In comes AJ, blocked by Squishy. And Gyro has a choice to make. He chooses to slow. FaZe probably very
this
much
is getting
against what they
intense.
would want to do. Had to back down for just a second. But suddenly, FaZe have got a new look at themselves. But maybe the open play suits NRG as well. Justin, off the backboard, Illusion delays his shot or save. Now Justin moves in. Takes over for FaZe.
It's just crossfire challenge again and again for Garrett G. But still, they are getting healthy looks on net. Justin's accidentally got a touch on Squishy's shot, but still a chance for NRG to advance up this.
There it is.
Squishy scores.
Nice job, NRG. Good shit.
A good while ago. said earlier, they've done enough here to eliminate FaZe. They advance to the next round of the competition. And now we get to find out, will NRG unlock that extra gear? Will they go to that speed that we know they can go to? Because they're going to have to if Space Station Gaming continue to produce the kind of results that they've been producing all tournament long. But it's another look at one of the most exciting matchups in North America, SSG, NRG in the semifinal. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Give me a second. I got to use the restroom, guys.
Also now, it's time for serve if you're KCP or G2 Esports, because the chance is there. This has happened again to FaZe. They lost to Rogue last time in the quarterfinals. They thought, well, at least we've done our job. And the two teams behind them really caught up. If it happens this time around, they will leapfrog FaZe, and it will be, very much not FaZe's fault. They would have lost to Rogue, lost to Space Station. Those aren't bad losses when you're looking at sort of the teams around of KCP and G2. They now know the task ahead of them. There is a possibility as well that if both teams get through to the semifinals and KCP win, then FaZe will be dropped down to 7th. But that's all still to come up after we go to a quick break.
Verizon knows how to build unlimited.
Yeah, I'm honestly thinking about playing
I'm at 20.
Rocket League or like War Thunder. I'm not entirely sure on what I'm wanting to do today. But NRG beat FaZe Clan 4-2. The semifinal, NRG is going up against Space Station. And then quarterfinal number 4 is Sonics versus the G2. Or Team Envy versus Pioneers is up next. Yeah, I know. A lot going on today in the gaming world. I will admit that. NRG did really good though. Yeah, Conan, you weren't banned or anything like that. Your message was just deleted. Just so you know. Can't wait to see what SSG has for NRG though. Can't wait. Okay, so Justin does switch in between cars. He'll switch in between the Fennec and the Octane. I find a little like, I mean, they have the same hitbox. Excuse me. Oh. Cheers, by the way. Woo! Oh my God. Oh. Sorry. The music bumps. I like the Rocket League music. Let's see. What am I at now? Because I already know I'm going to have to fix my shit. Session viewers.
And welcome back to
bit
the Rocket
rate.
League Championship Series Season X. We're watching the Spring Split North American Regional Number 2, brought to you by Verizon. I'm Leaf, and Gibbs alongside me, as well as Subi is joining us back on the desk here to talk about this last match here. Subi, it went the way we thought. It was still a fight, though, from FaZe Clan.
Yeah, it did. It didn't go to Game 7, but FaZe Clan did make NRG have to work for this one. And, you know, if I could sum
Yeah,
this up
FaZe
in one
did.
word,
FaZe definitely made
scrappy.
NRG work
FaZe
for it.
Clan just made this down and dirty and put NRG, you know, kind of in a little uncomfortable situation, but NRG clawed their way.
And low-scoring games is where FaZe was like, all right, we just need one here, and we can win a couple of these games. And then Game 5, they just started out so terribly wrong with a bad kickoff and some bad missed plays. But they came back in that game, and that's why it made it so much worse. Because if they were down 3-0 within the first minute, and then they come back, claw it back to 3-2, that was a chance for them to win that Game 5, but they kind of blew it.
Well, to talk about their move on into the semifinals, Garrett G is joining us on the line. Garrett, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hello. Let's talk about it. I mean, you got to talk to me here. What's going on? You know, it seemed like a great few weeks leading up to this, and then a little bit of a roadblock maybe hit here. You want to walk us through just what's going on, with the team, talking, all that kind of stuff. What's up with energy?
I don't know. I feel like we have a pretty high standard for how we've played throughout the season. So it just honestly just feels.
Yeah,
like
I think I'm going to run the NRG finish
straight up
today.
missing the ball. Myself especially in that last game. I don't know. It's hard to take the grid and say that we were in a super good form from playing the grid. Just to be honest with you, we played. I couldn't even count maybe 20-something weeks of grid. So it's more of a extra practice thing, and we actually do really well in scrims and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like we've had a rough split so far. I mean, Regional 1, losing first round of Sonics. I'm just happy to get top 4, especially with how we've played throughout this weekend. So I'm pretty excited with that. And then anything from here is just a bonus. But not too worried about it. I know we'll find our form.
Right now.
So on that, with that group stage, after you guys advanced, you clinched one of those spots for the World Championship. So how much did that mean to you guys and the team?
It definitely means a lot. I hope there is a Worlds that we go to. I hope. But it meant a lot, especially for myself, like trying to keep the streak alive. So we were pretty excited. Definitely going to have to keep finding more motivation to keep the passion alive. I guess like that. Placing well for the points and stuff. But it felt pretty good. We were pretty excited.
It seems like every time you guys take the pitch, people are so used to you guys being so dominating, and then you guys lose one game and everyone's like, oh my gosh, dumpster fire is happening. So let's just forget about all that, because I think you guys are still on form, and I think you put yourself in a great spot to take this regional. But you guys are facing Space Station, and they've been talking about how they're in this new form, and I want to know, do you guys see that, or is this the same Space Station that you guys have been seeing this entire season?
Yeah, they started playing the game again, so I would hope so. They're playing good. They've been playing really good. I can tell they've made like some change. I feel like they've kept their like unique like control play style, but I think they're changing up just a little bit with how they play on offense and stuff like that. So I won't lie, this is gonna be a tall task. I'm not lying to myself in that regard. But I think we can do it. I mean, we've done it a few times in a row. I'm sure they're going to be really motivated to win against us this time, especially because we've beat them a few times in a row. But yeah, they've been playing good. I'll agree. They're definitely in their best form, I think, of the season. So it's going to be a hard match for sure.
I'm going to make you an honorary analyst for a second here so you can predict and guess wildly about something.
Okay.
There's a bit of a race for that last spot there, the bottom spots there for a world situation with a few teams, G2, Sonics, KCP. If you were to make a prediction early here, who would you have in that final spot there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you guys were gonna ask me about that earlier because I felt like that had a big impact in this match. Like this match was honestly a lot more important for FaZe than it was for us, and I think that kind of their nerves. I mean, I'm just guessing, but I would assume their nerves were a lot higher because they're trying to compete for that top 6. I don't know if KCP keeps like squeaking out these random finals appearances. I feel like I could see them making it. Like, I feel like they just randomly. They're either like top 16
This is busted.
talent for some reason, or all of a sudden they're like top 4. So if they can just squeak that out a couple of times, I actually see them making it. And G2 for sure. Like Drees, he's really good. Like I'm not just gassing him up. He's really good. I think he's going to be around for a while. I hope they keep him. Yeah, I think it's going to be like G2 KCP. Those are my most confident ones. I'm sure.
There we go.
Fair enough. Well, we're not going to take up any more of your time. You got to get prepared for that space station match. So good luck going forward, Garrett.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Predicting. How do you guys feel about that? You think G2 KCP?
Like, honestly, that's just rude. Because Garrett G just took down FaZe. It's like, yeah, FaZe isn't making it either. You know, that's basically what he said. Like, I'm going to add those words in. So, poor FaZe there. It was a bad loss for FaZe for sure. Garrett G and Energy, though, they're a top 4 team always, right? Like, it really seems that way. Like, even when they're not on perfect form, which they weren't in that series, they still beat a top team like FaZe. So, they're pretty strong.
I don't think they're going to be able to make those mistakes, though, going up against Space Station.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Let's just roll bracket here while we talk about this then. Because, again, we got to talk about all these teams now. FaZe just got dropped out there, as Garrett G made very clear. They took them out. They move on to play Space Station Gaming in the semifinals here, which makes FaZe journey just a little bit harder there. So KCP and G2. Gibbs, correct me if I'm wrong, Sonics potentially still in the running there.
They're alive if they win. Yeah, they have to make 2 finals back to back or win a final, and then maybe they're back in that race. They're very likely not in it, but who knows? Like, anything will happen with this, because last time we saw this bottom bracket, it was the same thing. KC Pioneers, and then we got the Sonics down here. We're like, they're both going to lose. It was to Team Envy and NRG, and then what happened was we got KCP versus those guys over there. So KCP versus Team Envy once again. This is a rematch of Regional 1 for the quarterfinals, where last time KC Pioneers out of nowhere, they beat Envy in Game 7. So we'll see if they can do it again.
KCP versus Team Envy, Stubby. Again, KCP, NRG was just talking them up too. They're either, again, a top 16 or they're a top 4, and they push through. So maybe that's today, maybe it's not. But Team Envy, again, is a team that's had some ups and downs too, some surprising losses, even though they did have a good previous split.
Yeah, both of these teams are roller coaster rides. You don't know what team you're going to get on any given day. But one thing I think all of us can agree on, if it's peak Envy against peak KCP, I think you have to give the advantage over to Team Envy. They're just a little faster, a little more mechanical, and they've got the experience on their side. And what better experience to have than a 4-time world champion Turbo Pulsa to get you through the trenches.
Well, the question here, chat, is are we getting peak KCP or peak Envy? It's time for the prize and fan vote. Let us know who's winning this one. Hashtag KCP or hashtag Envy in the chat right now to make sure your vote is counted. While you're doing that, let's get ours out there. I'll start us off because I got to do this one during the Teamwork Build-Up bracket in the pre-show, and I had KCP moving through. I may as well stick with it. It wouldn't make sense not to.
I'll email you first, you motherfucker.
Yesterday, from the teams, I really feel like KCP, if they pull that through, I have a real good chance.
Shows how I feel.
It's going to go the distance, as Subi said. It's going to be a good match. I had this one in a Game 7. So KCP, I think we'll just squeak it out, though. I think they got a little more drive behind them, needing this win, Gibbs.
I'm going to agree with you. Kansas City Pioneers. Last time around it was Beast.
Let's see. Talent predictions. KC Pioneers
this time it's
or...
He's been the closer this entire weekend. I think
I didn't even hear it. That's my fault.
Well.
Oops.
So I think Beast Mode and Rapid will make the plays happen. So Memory has those shots and he'll put them home. I think they win. You know what? I'm going to say 5 games. I'm going to say Kansas City Pioneers put up a statement.
5? Wow. Okay, Subi.
I love both these. I like both of these for the storyline of KCP being able to come back and fight for that spot for Worlds. But you know me, I'm not going to make it easy on you guys. We're not going to have a desk all agreeing with each other. I've got to go with Team Envy just because of that experience factor.
That's a good one. Team Envy
regional
or KC Pioneers.
I'm looking at just today, and it's Championship Sunday, and I will never bet against Turbo.
I am smoking on some lemon cookie.
And brought you onto the side of KCP. Wow. Almost brought it close, to be honest. Almost a 50 down the middle there between these two teams, only 2% in favor of Envy. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. So get on Twitter at @RLeSports, #RLeSports.
Right now, I'm smoking a Nick
I want
stick.
your excitement. I want to know how hyped you are for this championship Sunday. But let's get on with the games over in the Verizon Skybox. It's KCP versus Team Envy.
All right, so KCP versus Envy.
Here, Turtle, and the desk going with KC Pioneers. I think that's probably the first time I've seen the desk go over a team that isn't Envy when Envy's in the conversation. And for Envy, this is a game where I think a lot of people are looking at and say,
It has a lot of helpful and medical purposes. That's also why I smoke it. I'm also a medical cannabis patient for post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah, it's about finding
schizophrenic, bipolar, depression, anxiety,
a top 16 team,
and also
on
for
a good
pain.
day, they could be easily a top 4 team, if not top 2, making it all the way to the grand final. So we'll see which KCP we run into today. Gibbs mentioned that this is a rematch from last regional event between these two teams. We had Beast Mode.
Have I had mushrooms before?
Yes. But I think the most impressive part about his performance in that series is shooting accuracy.
Excuse me, I've had Blue Ringers and Red Cap Cubenzis.
Ridiculous. We're going to need to see the same in this game, especially
Excuse
if
me.
you're on point with that defensive line.
absolutely, any team needs to be on point. You're going up against Envy, who have had their struggles here. After
So yeah, I've done mushrooms. I've also done LSD.
Against FaZe when they came into the knockout gauntlet. But they battled their way back, and they get this matchup here against the Pioneers, who have been playing phenomenal in their series. See how it all pans out here in game one. It's the first minute coming up here. Rapid, once one off the back wall, follow up there from memory. Is turned away by Atomic and Envy. They're cleared downfield.
So I'm watching the Rocket League spring split. Team Envy versus KC Pioneers. Before I end up hopping on the Rocket League.
More willing to be aggressive, but this team typically tends to shy away from that aggression. They don't go for a lot of demos. KCP kind of likes to wait on those mistakes, or possibly a beast mode, double tap, something in that nature. But I like what I'm seeing. This aggression, this could lead to something special. Maybe a huge upset like we did here from Gibbs' prediction.
I think the key for the Pioneers is not to get backed up into their back line. That's something that Envy does so much. This one,
Ooh,
extra
what
touches
a
on the
touch.
goal line. But Envy are really good at keeping teams kind of on the back foot, backed into their
I may
own
end
back
up
line
keeping
to make
this
sure that
pulled
they
up
can't
on
get
my
out easily.
my phone.
And for the Pioneers, they need that space to get downfield. You need someone like Rapid in open space to make your
See
offense work.
the wax down here in Arkansas over at the medical dispensary is $120 for a gram and $60 for a half gram.
Just comes back out to miss the shot far side. Turbo's there to secure the goal.
So I've just been smoking flower.
The past minute, it's been all Team Envy keeping the pressure on, and this is where they feel the most comfortable, when they can keep those mid.
I'd love, if you want my honesty, I'd love to have some wax just to put on top of my flower, but
corners. They're not too anxious to get a shot on target because they know eventually that opportunity will come. Miz tosses it into the midfield. Turbo pulls up there for the easiest finish, and you've got an Envy lead on a pretty.
I pay 15 a gram.
Expected rotation. This is what Envy like to do. This is the play style they go for. That starvation, that patient play.
And, that attempt, that little sequence from Envy that led to the goal is exactly what we're alluding to when we talk about the offense.
But yeah, I pay 15 a gram, 40 for an eighth, 80 for a quarter, 150 a half, 275 for an ounce.
Challenges, and then a bad touch from Rapid opens up the shot for Mist. And that's what Envy does to the opposition. For Pioneers, they got to stay on offense. They got to stay.
Oh no, I know what an Enel is.
And that's a good attempt by memory, but they're not able to put it on target.
Yeah, this was on the backboard there. Coming off, he had to save his flip and make sure he gets a touch, and now he's taking the midfield boost. Miz doing so much in his own rotation.
And look up email.
He can make an impact on the field, whether it's getting the demo, taking.
I don't have anything in my email.
Right there, he's off the backboard, got the save, keeps that lead alive for Envy. But
No, I do gotta check
they
my
are moving
email
up,
though.
starting to feel a bit more confident off the backboard. Maybe this could lead to.
No, but
something.
I know what you meant. But yeah, no,
Maybe
it's
a double tap doesn't get it.
yeah, it's just too expensive for wax or oil down here.
Here is Beast Mode once the back wall once more. Pioneers attack that fizzles out. Here comes Atomic, maybe all by himself. He tries to tuck it through, and it's caught. Turbo pulls it to secure it once again.
Have you seen the stud and glass gravity ball? I think so. Hold on. If you're talking about the gravity bong
purposely going for that dunk. It's incredible to see how
Let's
these
see what
players
is. Have you
move in
seen
the air,
this?
anticipating that challenge,
Student.
making sure he can get a little
Hold
bit
on.
farther back, then get a solid dunk right in that corner, toss
Have you,
it out. That
have you
was
seen
such
Stun?
a mechanical and
Wow.
precise play from Atomic.
So that'd be doubling up their lead. Missed. Wanting another one here. Takes a tough bounce. Rapid can hardly pull
Oh yeah. I've seen this before.
Memory to try and dribble it downfield. ACP still held scoreless here.
And this is
There's beast mode. Into the air he goes. Has some boost to work with. Can't get back to it off the ceiling. Misread it all.
yeah. I've seen people smoke on these before. They're actually hella cool.
We'll find Turbo pulls it downfield. That shot is wide. Pioneers trying to get out of their own end, but again coming out the Turbo. Envy clamping down on this defense. Pioneers can only just throw the ball over the halfway mark. And no
30
moves.
seconds. Oh, is that? Oh, I thought I was rolling in for a second. That was a little bit scary. The KCP defense is a bit sluggish to start out game number one. Maybe that exactly, and I wanted to emphasize a little bit on these midfield boosts. Sometimes I see Turbo also rotating out of his own half. He doesn't even go for the challenge. He just takes the midfield boost. He knows that if he starves out KC Pioneers when they are on offense, they don't have those midfield boosts. They have to go all the way back. Final few seconds. This one's gonna.
Yeah, that's fucking cool. Yeah, student glass, gravity bomb, and gravity hookah.
That's probably the best way to describe it. It was a clean performance here for Envy. Not really tested too much on the defensive side. We see 5 shots coming out from the Pioneers here, but I mean, none of them really that memorable. There was a couple sequences where KCP had opportunities, but Envy were really not threatened by them. And meanwhile, when you look at the offensive side of things for Envy, that's really where they shine. And that's where they got their play style going, right? They were able to kind of corral this Pioneers team into their own net. And then they have their way with them.
Wow.
Great work there by Atomic as well, individually, to get that second goal.
Yeah, I had to sit here and think for a second.
Around that ball to get the dunk. As we look at the replays here, you can see how delicate.
Because I know the name rung a bell, but I wasn't entirely sure. So, but yeah, no, I've seen those before. I've never smoked out of one.
He was the most aggressive player for NRG. He was taking the most boost pads, and we've barely seen Envy struggle with the boost game. They seem to always have some amount in their tank to go for that challenge. Maybe memory could be the changing factor here.
You can get weed called Cool Fade. Nice. Yeah, right now, like I said, I'm smoking on lemon cookies, a crossbreed between lemon kush and Girl Scout cookie.
Speed in the transition to catch out Envy. By the time the Pioneers got downfield, Envy were already back and ready for everything. So let's see if things could change for the Pioneers. It wasn't like they got blown out, but they certainly did generate the offense that you would expect. Let's see if they can get things going here in game 2.
What's up, Dankness?
Beast mode takes away the big clear from Envy. This one coming back out to miss, has some boost to work with, and the rapid and easy clear. Atomic. It's dunked by memory. This one over the head of Turbo, but still manageable as he gives it away to Mist.
I do like the challenge game out of KCP, but whenever they do get these clears, like right here, this ball hit from Rapid, there's nobody on the other side. That's about the 3rd or 4th clear that has gone unanswered. Finally, they do make a connection. Get from it off the backboard touch. This is why you find players downfield on the clears, because it leads to great results, Corelli.
And it's a beautiful transition, Rapid up to beast mode, and that's a wonderful touch from beast mode. That one easily could have gone straight into the ceiling.
KC Pioneers versus Team Envy. You're having some dabs of Critical Kush. Ooh. I've had the Critical Kush shatter before. It's definitely very tasty. But I had it back when I was living up in Washington, which was damn well near 3 years ago. Has it really been 3 years almost? No, 2. Almost 2 years.
They do look to be clean, like we mentioned in game 1 with the rotations, but KCP have definitely woken up, and they're showing it here on the field.
Yeah, really utilizing the midfield side wall a lot, finding the outlet through that wall in the midfield. That shot just high from Turbo Pulsa. Tries to make a couple moves downfield. This one back by Rapid. Here comes Atomic. He's going for the back wall. Turbo's up. Dangerous spot. Back post shot. Atomic couldn't get there. The Pioneers look out that Envy couldn't convert.
And then
just Rapid with a little bit of a musty.
I actually want to see how much this
Turn it away.
weighs out,
I feel like the speed,
but
though, is
I have a
in favor
problem.
of Envy in the midfield.
I need
I've
an
seen a lot of
empty pill
challenges
bottle.
go their way, which is why I think, to your point, Corelli, you said KCP, they want to use the sidewalls, and I think it's because they've realized they're not winning these midfield challenges. They don't have the speed, so they want to go to the side to make sure they can find those clear connections with that positioning. And it's been working out for them. We haven't seen
I gotta find my
nearly
other
as
pill
much
bottle of
offense
this anyway,
from Envy,
somewhere around here.
and KCP would like to keep it that way.
Here comes Atomic. He's
Okay.
finding a lot of space for himself, and he wanted to dunk on beast mode. Certainly, if you're the Pioneers, you take note of that. How many times Atomic takes
Let's see how much keef I have, because I have to weigh an empty pill bottle.
but couldn't get around it. Envy quickly moving downfield. A rapid response with a great clear. Turbo can only put it to his own corner. This is a chance now for the Pioneers. Memory, his shot, well, it never really panned out.
With an empty bottle, it weighs out to 8 grams. I'm gonna tear that out. Okay,
No one there to follow up.
pull that.
And surprisingly,
8 grams, and we're seeing how much
able to punish and capitalize
keef I've made so far,
so much time on the ball,
or
so
I've
much
collected
space in the
so
midfield,
far.
but the Envy defense scrambled to get back in time, find a transition, and because of that, they're still trailing by 1 goal.
Turbo over to miss. Shot is on target. Memory makes a big save.
Half
The
gram.
Pioneers get out, holding on to their 1-goal lead. So close for Envy on their 6th shot. Another one coming across the box. Memory once again comes in front. Now missed. He plays it off the back wall. Free ball here for Atomic. Wanted to give it over to Turbo. Now the Pioneers boom it downfield.
A rosin press? I already know, Momo.
Rapid's going to try and salvage this attack now. As Memory plays it from the corner. Beast Mode backs out. The Pioneers will slowly play this one out of their own corner with Mist oncoming.
I almost have a gram of keef saved up so far.
Rapid gets a piece of it. For the
0.76.
Holding on with Envy, getting closer and closer to the mark.
I do like that read though from Mist. He knows exactly where KCP are trying to move this ball. They're keeping possession. We've gotten to the final minute. A lot of teams will get into this zone of just keeping possession, trying to find each other downfield. They're not overextending for goals, but they want to try to starve out the opponent. Simply put, waste as much time as you can. Take the corner boost. Turbo actually stole one from KCP, and that's why there's space in the midfield. Let's see what he's got. Little pop-up to Atomic, but the speed from Beast Mode to get the challenge isn't enough for Mist on the flick reset. There's left and right.
You can also make a rosin press out of a hair straightener.
Still nothing for Envy.
Good defense here for the Pioneers. Have now racked up 7 saves here in game 2. Envy have been knocking on the door with their 8 shots. This could be one more chance as a good clear comes out for the Pioneers. The back wall of Envy now having to go the full length of the field, and that's not the best clear from Atomic. He actually just sets up the Pioneers to crush it to the floor, and it's a 1-all series.
It's a rare sighting, I think, when we see Envy go scoreless in a game with the amount of pressure. I mean, Mist had 6 shots, 0 goals, plenty of opportunities. I'm even thinking back to a moment where Atomic had a pass out into the midfield for Turbo posted, but the pass was too weak. It feels like they aren't finding solid connection on the ball. The ideas are there. Again, the rotations have been solid. I just don't think they're finding the right contact with the ball and getting the power that they need to on these passes because KCP, while they don't, in my opinion, I don't think they have the speed to match Envy. Envy don't have the power to utilize their own speed. So it's kind of coming to this weird stalemate of a game. And KCP, on this first goal, they got that and then just basically played keep away from Envy the rest of the game.
Well, it's kind of, you're kind of echoing the same things that I think Jorby and I said yesterday when Envy took on FaZe. Envy they had a great offense. They had a lot of opportunities, but they couldn't convert. And no matter how good or bad the defense is, it does come down to that offense having the opportunities and not putting them away. And right now, that was another great example of, again, some good defense by Pioneers. I don't want to take that away from them, but Envy had plenty of chances, whether individually or as a team, that they couldn't put away. And it's come back to bite them in a 1-goal game.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing more 1v1 plays and selfish moments from Envy. Rarely do we see Atomic or Mist go for
I don't even want to watch
solo dribble where they're purposely trying to get a goal. We see Mist here off the backboard. Let's go for a little solo dribble. But I'm thinking back to that example I used previously with Atomic in the corner where he tried to get the pass out. It was a bit awkward. I would say go for that solo play, take control of it, and try to maybe 1v2, 1v1 a defender and see if something results from that. Because right now, these passing plays
I think I'm going to hop off of here.
Yeah, we've only seen Atomic
And get ready and go live on Twitch playing Rocket League.
Who sits in the air dribble, but nothing's really
I need to work on my 2s. I need to work on my 3s. We're getting ready to push into Diamond. So, yay! I'll see everybody later. Much love.
Right around Atomic, very awkward